Saad, you're on with Steve Juan of MMA Mania.
Hi, Saad. Thanks for taking the time today. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. And you're fighting Rob Sinclair in just a matter of days now. In fact, the weigh-ins are only a couple days away. So how are you feeling right now? How's the camp been?
Camp's been great, man. I can't complain, and I feel really good. I can't wait to go, weigh in, get that out of the way, and get the fight going.
He's a durable fighter. He's 12-2. He's got 5 straight wins, most of them in Bama, as I recall. So how do you feel about fighting Sinclair?
I like this fight. I like this fight because, he comes and he likes to fight. He's not going to sit there and make it a boring fight. So I think this is going to be a fight that the fans are going to enjoy more than me and him. So,
well,
I like it.
I don't think you've been in a boring fight that I could think of. So it's kind of your style in general.
Yeah. And I think, it's kind of his style too. So I think it's going to make out to a really good fight.
You've got a rather unique distinction right now. You're the only man with a win over the lightweight champion, Ill Will Brooks. So how does it feel knowing you're in that position as the only man that's beaten him?
It's bittersweet. It's sweet knowing that you did it, and it's bitter knowing he has the belt and I don't. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things that just pushes me harder to train even harder to work my way back up to hopefully get a title shot.
Well, you're on the right path. You've won your last 2 fights. You're 3 out of your last 4, so it seems things are moving in that direction.
Yeah. It seems like it, and I'm working hard, so I'm working towards it.
Knowing that you fought him twice and split those 2 fights, you've got all the experience with Will Brooks anybody could ask for. So if you were going to give his opponent, Dave Jansen, any advice on Friday night, what would that be?
Wrestle. Because if he can stop wrestling, he'll control the fight. So as long as you keep moving and wrestling, you should be good. Don't do what I did and think you could pull off a submission off your back. Wrestle and get up, move, grapple. Keep moving. Don't stop moving.
Yeah, that would be an effective strategy. Yeah. But I think Jansen also wants to kind of prove a point. I think he'd like to go in there and do what you did in 43 seconds and shock the world.
Oh, it's possible. With these MMA gloves, anybody can get knocked out. A lot of people say they never got knocked out before, then they're sleeping the next fight. So you never know what can happen with these gloves.
No, you never do. When you go back and look at your previous fights, you've been in a lot of different places. I even remember seeing you in Strikeforce. Obviously, you're very happy with Bellator right now, but tell us a little about your experience in working so many different places over the years.
It's cool. I like it because, as, my career goes on and, once I'm done with my career, I'll be able to go back and, say, I competed in almost every organization there was out there. So, I like going to different places, meeting different people. I like wearing different gloves, and now I'm in a home where I'm comfortable, and I'm really comfortable with Bellator, and it's become my home. I think I've had almost all, the majority of my fights.
Pretty much from 2013 on, you've been Bellator exclusive.
Yeah, and I've been busy. So, I've had about, 5, 6 fights, I think, in Bellator. So, from all the other fights I've had, most of them, I've had 2 fights here, 1 fight there, 3 fights here. So I think I've had the majority of my fights are coming along, and it's probably going to end up in Bellator. So I'm happy with them.
Yeah, you do seem happy there, and like you said, you're staying busy there, which is all most fighters can ask for, because a lot of promotions, you sign, you get 1 fight, and then you sit around for 8 months waiting for another fight, and it doesn't seem like you're the kind of fighter who wants to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I sat around, from the last fight to this one, but that was just because of the changes. There's a lot of changes that went on. So now, those are all getting ironed out. I hope I stay busy. I plan on staying busy, and I hope I can.
Now, by changes, do you mean the switch over from Bjorn Rebney to Scott Coker?
Yes, sir. Yeah. The changes from that, the changes from the tournament format to non-tournament format. I mean, when they had a tournament format, I fought 5 times. When they took it away, I fought twice, but there was also all the changes going along, and I had got offered a fight earlier that year, and that I couldn't take. I think I was injured or something happened. So it was kind of my fault. I would have fought 3, maybe even 4 times last year. But I think, this way, hopefully it starts picking up a little bit more. I want to stay busy. I want to fight as much as I possibly can.
Is the tournament format something you're going to miss, or do you feel like it's actually better now that there's more time between cards and you can take a full camp and not have to come back again on a few weeks' notice?
It's both ways. You know, I liked it because it was because it kept me busy, and you know, you win the tournament, you get a title fight, and you get that big payday. So you know, it's all there right in front of you. You know what I mean, in black and white. But you know, this way, it's kind of like, okay, you might fight maybe in 2 months. You might fight. You know, at this time, it's okay. You're on a 2-fight winning streak. You got to win a couple more before you get a title fight, and you know what I mean. So it's good and it's bad because also this way you got to recover between fights. You know, if you have an injury, you're not forced into a fight and you're going to fight, you know, at 60% instead of 80%.
Right.
So it's bittersweet.
Yeah. Are you injury free right now? I mean, every fighter always says they can't get out of a camp totally injury free, but it sounds like you're pretty ready for this.
You know what? It's impossible to be injury free. Let's just say my mind is injury free right now. So I feel good mentally, and that's all that matters.
Now, I noticed from looking at your Twitter profile that you have #vegetarianfighter on there. So is your diet and your regimen with that, does that help keep you healthy and injury free?
Possibly. I mean, you know, I do have a, you know, plant-based diet, but I do eat fish. But overall, I eat a lot of almost all my protein comes from plants. And I've noticed it's kept me really healthy. It's kept my cardio up. I enjoy it a lot, you know, for health-wise and for training-wise.
Yeah, it's something I talked to Georgie Karakanian about, and he also said that he feels like he was too muscular when he was on a meat diet, and that he actually has an easier time making the weight now for his fights. Yeah,
same here. I mean, I used to have to basically go vegetarian before my fights, before I became vegetarian or pescatarian, just in order to make weight. So I'd go for 2 to 3 months without eating meat in order to make weight and be, you know, healthier. And then finally it kind of clicked in my head, like, if I'm doing this just for a fight, why don't I do it year round and be healthy all the time instead of healthy just 2 months before my fight?
Do you ever miss it? Do you ever just think once in a while, like, I'd really like a piece of bacon or a burger, or is it just like no longer even part of your life? You never even miss it?
No, of course you're going to miss it. You know, who doesn't miss, you know, a burger or a steak, especially when you drive by In-N-Out and you smell it. You know what I mean? Or if you're at a barbecue and somebody's grilling some stuff, of course you're going to miss it. It's the distinctive smell that, you know, that it always, you know, triggers, you know, memories of whatever it is, whether it's perfume or it's food. It always brings up old memories, and usually good memories, you know. So food is something that's always going to bring up a good memory when you smell it.
What's your favorite thing to eat, either before or after going vegetarian? What's the one that's the happiest memory for you?
Oh man, before vegetarian, I was a little fatty. I like Big Macs from McDonald's, even though I know those are the worst things you possibly eat. But that was my favorite thing. Those and carne asada tacos. And then after, I mean, pizza, I guess. That's the closest I'm gonna get to like a fatty food without eating meat.
So like a spinach pizza then with like mozzarella and spinach, or how do you do it?
Yeah, I like spinach pizza. I wouldn't say too much of a vegetarian pizza, but my favorite's, black olives and mushroom.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
combination. And feta cheese.
Oh yeah, feta cheese.
Yeah, and feta cheese.
Feta is the best on pizza. People don't know. I keep trying to preach that, but a lot of people don't realize that salty creaminess of feta is just the best.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm with you on that one.
So now, before you mentioned that you got a couple wins in a row and you don't know how many it's going to take, for Dave Jansen, it took 7 wins in a row before he got that title shot. So I assume you'd like to have it come a little faster than that.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, if not, and if I keep getting paid, you know what I mean? If I start making, you know, good money, then I'll be happy as long as we keep me busy. Because as long as we're busy, I'll be able to knock out, you know, 4 or 5 fights a year. As long as I'm busy. So, my biggest fear is sitting on the shelf. That's all. That's my biggest fear. And as long as I'm, you know, not on the shelf, I don't mind if I have to fight 2, 3 more times for a title shot, because I know when I do get it, I'll know I've earned it. You know, I don't want to just jump into a title after, you know, 1, maybe 2 fights and people start saying, oh, he didn't earn it. He didn't get this. And, you know, so I want to make sure, you know, I've earned it when I jump in there.
Well, you've got another chance to earn it on Friday at the Brent Event Center in Irvine, California. So do you have any words of warning or words of wisdom for your opponent, Rob Sinclair, before he steps in with you?
No, man, just enjoy the California weather, man, because I don't know when you're going to be back out here. So enjoy it right now while you can, while you're out here.
Yeah, I noticed you said on Twitter it went from 33 to 66 degrees in 40 minutes. I wish I could experience that.
Yeah, because I've been staying in the mountains. Georgie has a house up there. Georgie Carpanian has a house in the mountains, so I've been sleeping up there and then training like half my camp up there, half my camp down here. So, for the high elevation training to help with my conditioning. So I was up there this morning and it was freezing, and I drove down and it's like sunny. It's only 66, but it's sunny, so it's like perfect outside.
Yeah. I was in San Diego a couple of years ago for some things, and I still miss it because it was like late October, so it was real cold back at home, but it was like sunny and 70 degrees, and it just felt so nice. California's got the best weather.
Yeah, you got to pay for it though. That's the crappy thing. You got to pay for the weather, but it is worth it though. I'll tell you that. I love the weather out here. I don't think I'll ever move.
Yeah, does it feel almost like you're going to fight at home considering it's all in California, the fights, you and everything is all coming together in the same place?
Oh yeah. The arena's going to be packed. I already know, I know a lot of people already, got their tickets that are coming to support me. So I know, I'll probably have the biggest crowd there. So you'll see it. I don't know if you tune in, you'll hear the people. Hopefully I'll get some shirts out there.
Oh yeah.
If they come in, I have some shirts made, but I don't even know if they're done yet.
If they're not, they better get done quick because it's only a couple days away now. The weigh-ins are coming up and then the fight's on Friday night. So I'll definitely be watching you on the Bellator.com prelims, and hopefully it's a really great fight and then it'll get bonused on to Spike TV.
Yeah, hopefully that's what we're shooting for. So
all right. Well, Saad, I want to thank you again for the time today and want to give you this opportunity to throw out anything that you want to plug, sponsors, social media, whatever you got.
I just want to say, thank you for taking your time for the interview, and, thank you for my camp, for getting me ready for this fight. William, thank you, Georgie. He's been a big training, help with this camp. And, so all my sponsors that support me, I just got a nice little package from, Pain Away. Thank you for that, guys, for all my injuries. And, thank you everybody else. And, Concrete, don't forget them. Concrete supplements.
All right. Well, one last thing before I let you go, since we've talked about Georgie a couple of times already on this call. What do you think about his match with Patricio Pitbull coming up at Bellator 138?
Oh man, Georgie improves by the hour, and people don't believe me when I tell them this, but that kid is good. That kid is good, and he gets better every time I train with him. He has something new, and he doesn't show it, often, but. He has something new, and he's gotten so much better in the past couple of years. So, that belt's coming home to him.
Yeah, I know he's excited about avenging that loss to Pitbull. He was pumped up for it even before his last fight, and he knew he had to win it to get it. So he's got to be super excited right now.
Oh yeah. So he's looking forward to that because, it's a different time around. You know what I mean? You go into a fight and you're still kind of, a kid in the sport, and you think you know everything. And then, you kind of get humbled up when you're not humbled up, but, you lose kind of, reality check, and you go out, train, and you learn a lot more. And then a couple years later, you come back and you're a 360 different fighter. And, nothing against Pitbull. He's obviously, tough as nails, but, to me, he's the same fighter he's been since he first came to Bellator to now. And that's where I think he's going to be in trouble at.
Well, Georgie's ever improving, and so are you, Mr. Awad. So I'm looking forward to both of your next fights and continued success in the Bellator cage.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. I appreciate the time. And CJ, thanks for setting up the call as well.